All right, we're going to be working on solving with a variable. The one thing we need to know is when a variable has a value, you plug in that value where the variable is. Okay, so what that means is if our variable is y and y equals 10, okay, if we have an equation that is 3 plus y equals 13. With this golden rule, we know to plug in that value where the variable is. So my value for y is 10. So I'm going to plug it in to this y. So this is 10. So I'm going to rewrite that to show you that 3 plus 10 equals 13. All right, if I had 4y plus 2, 4y plus 2, I'll let it refresh, 4y plus 2, I'm going to plug in y, okay, plug in my value. My variable is y, my value of y is 10, I'm going to plug in 10. Now here is where sometimes we can't just plug it in. We have to know that any time a variable is by a number, it means multiply. So what this means is when you plug it in, it's 4 times 10 plus 2. 4 times 10 plus 2. Not 410 plus 2. Not this. That would just be plugging in. We have to know that a variable by a number means multiply. So I'm going to star that and I'm going to put it in as well. A variable by a number means multiply. Means multiply. If you notice, I also didn't use an x here because now that we have variables, x is most commonly used for a variable. So we have to represent multiplication in a different way. There we go. It's trying to find itself. We need to use a different way of using multiplication. All right, so different ways we can use multiplication. We can use this asterisk sign, okay? We can do 4 in parentheses 10 because we know that when a number is by a letter or when a number is by the parentheses sign, it means multiply. So we could write this like that. We could write multiplication with an asterisk. That also means multiply. So we have to be careful now that now we are using variables. X might be the variable. So we have to be careful and mindful of what we're using when we want to say when we're multiplying. So let's do a different variable and let's solve some now. So let's say our variable is a. Our variable equals 9. Let's say my first one, I have 2 plus a equals 11. Well, for this one, I want us to tell us whether it's true or false, because we also have to know that. Sometimes we get equations and inequalities and they ask us whether it's going to be true or false. So first, we have to do what we set up here. We have to plug in our variable. So I'm going to rewrite this problem with our variable plugged in. So 2 plus a right here gives us a value of a, so it's 9. 2 plus 9 equals 11. Well, is that true? Well, let's see. 9, 10, 11. That is true. So this equation is true. what if we just have an expression and it asks us to solve? Let's do that. If we have an expression and it just asks us to solve, we have a, remember right beside the parentheses means multiply, a times 7 plus 5. Well, let's rewrite our problem plugging in that variable. A, as we were told right here, its value is 9, so let's plug in 9. We know that right beside the parentheses means multiply, so I'm just going to keep that parentheses there because we know that this is 9 times 7 plus 5. So now it wants us to solve. Let's just solve 9 times 7. And then we have to add 5. The reason we have to multiply first is because order of operations, they never go away, never go away. So we always multiply before we would add. So 9 times 7 gives us 63. Remember, bring down what you haven't used. 63 plus 5 gives us 68. So we plugged in the variable. Then after we plugged in the variable, I rewrote our expression. I then solved it by using order of operations to get my answer. So just because we're not learning about order of operations right now, you still need to know it. Let's do another one. So now we have 12 minus 8 plus a times 5. So since this is x, but our variable is a, we need to know that this is by times. Okay, so let's rewrite our expression, plugging in our variable. Our variable is a. Up here tells us a equals 9, so we're going to rewrite it and plug in our variable. So 8 plus, here's our variable. So instead of putting a, we're going to put 9 because its value is 9. So we're plugging in 9 times 5. Now, again, order of operations. We have to look for parentheses, no parentheses. We don't use exponents in 5th grade, so we move on to multiplication and division. Well, we have multiplication, so we need to do that first. 9 times 5 gives us 45. So we bring that down, bring down everything I haven't used. Now I have 12 minus 8 plus 45. We have no more multiplication or division, so we can move on to addition and subtraction. And when we do addition and subtraction, we do them in the order they appear from left to right. So since subtraction comes first in our expression, we need to do subtraction first. 12 minus 8 is 4. We bring down the plus sign and the 45. And lastly, we have 45 plus 4, which gives us 49. So, plugging in a variable, first, when a variable has a value, you plug it in to where that variable is. You plug that value into that variable. Here we plugged in y, that value was 10, so we plugged in 10. When a variable is by a number, it means multiply. So this is not 410, it's 4 times y. So it'd be 4 times 10 because the value of y is 10 up here. When we came down here, our variable was a. It told us our value of a is 9, so we plugged in 9 for wherever we saw our variable a. All right. So, don't forget those important rules. Don't forget order of operations when you're solving. And know that plugging in a variable, it can be as simple as remembering our steps.